Hello and welcome to Extraordinary Women TV. I'm your host, Shannon Skinner. Well, the theme of today's show is using design to make a difference in people's lives. And I've got two interior designers here today to talk about how they use interior design in very different ways. My first guest is Jennifer Brouwer, who is the founder of Jennifer Brouwer Design. Later in the segment, before we take a break, I'll have my regular Good to Know Minute when I ask my guests for their top success tip. You'll hear Jennifer's. In the second half of the show, I'll be joined by Lisa Ferguson, founder of Decor Mentor, so stay tuned. Hello, Jennifer.
Hello, good morning. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's nice to have you here. Now, you're based in Markham, so you didn't have too far to go this morning.
No, not too bad.
Now, one of the things I think that is really interesting about you and your background is you began your career in nursing.
I did.
Now, this is very different from interior design.
Absolutely, parallel worlds.
Parallel worlds. Now, at some point, you decided that you had enough of nursing, or you wanted to make a career change. What was that moment?
I just believe that you should follow your passion. I knew that I had 20 to 30 years left in the workforce, and I wanted to do something I loved, and I could not be happier with the change. I'm thrilled.
So what got you on the path then of interior design?
If I were to be honest, I would say I probably knew I wanted to do this from, even as young as a small child. I just didn't know how to channel it or really what to explain to my parents. The beauty of HGTV today has really kind of shown, the world what interior designers do and what they bring to the table at this point in time. But way back then, I'm dating myself now, but way back then, I think my parents thought I would be a starving artist. So, I went for a more traditional role, went to school, and
where there be security, a secure job,
absolutely,
secured income.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, for sure.
Right.
And you know what? I have to be honest with you. I am so happy that I have that as a background. I mean, I'm a mother of three. That nursing role plays into my life day in, day out, and it has prepared me for a lot of the bumps in the road, really, in design. There's a lot of similarities there.
So you went back to school?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. The beauty of nursing is you can do things part-time, and prior to having children, I was able to, work 7, 12-hour shifts every 2 weeks, go back part-time, and really kind of morph the lifestyle that I wanted. I could, take more courses if I wanted. I could make it a little bit less if I needed. And slowly but surely, the nursing started to dwindle, and the design business started to grow, and then eventually the nursing faded out, and here I am today, 13 years later.
What did you do to, the thinking is very different from healthcare into business. Was it a big stretch in terms of getting your head wrapped around business and creation and innovation?
I would say yes, because anyone who knows me would probably say that I wouldn't be a natural choice for a business mind per se. I wasn't, really mathematical and didn't really like those types of subjects in school. But as far as nursing goes, there's a real parallel line there, in the sense that you would see people who are unwell in the hospital, and you would just realize the power of their environment, or where they're staying, or just the hospital surroundings in general. They're really not conducive to wellness, and that was kind of part of the start of the shift.
That was quite an eye-opener.
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
I'm a huge advocate of the psychology of design, and it's not something that's been studied, or not necessarily a lot of people believe in it, but I'm huge on it, and I believe that everything that surrounds you affects your mood and your daily life.
So this is something that you were able to bring from your nursing into your design businesses. Psychology.
Absolutely.
That's brilliant. Now, what is the role then of an interior designer? Why would somebody hire one?
Oh, there's a million reasons why, but the role is psychologist,
counselor,
friend,
yes.
Marriage counselor,
accountant,
right. Tradesperson. We certainly wear many hats, and that's the beauty of the nursing background, is that you're able to think quick on your feet and be able to kind of facilitate those constant changes.
Now, I love looking at design magazines, and I love looking at home decor, and it's really pleasing to the eyes, isn't it? It can be very, very artistic.
Absolutely.
Well, tell me a little bit about your design company, Jennifer Brouwer Design, and what do you do?
Sure.
How do you help your clients?
Well, we started very small, 13 years ago, and slowly but surely kind of grown grown through the pleasure of the great clients that I've had to allow me to be creative. We do all things from facilitation to completion. So by that we mean that we always start with our plan. We work with budgets. We work from build, from construction, and certainly we do a diet of decorating as well.
So you get quite involved in areas such as cabinetry, designing sort of cabinetry.
Absolutely.
And
yeah, a lot of millwork,
right.
a lot of kitchens. Kitchens and baths are huge right now because people do understand that you get those funds back, that it's an investment in your home, so it's not a frivolous expenditure at this point in time.
How much do you think that people on average get back in a home sale if they invest in a bathroom? And
well, there are studies and they vary in numbers, but the average is between 70 and 90% return on a kitchen and a bath.
Oh, so it's worth it then?
Oh, absolutely.
Huge.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's very different when you're talking about decorating a room because you're really investing in yourself then. And the beauty of that is you then have those goods to take with you to another location. What's a little bit harder is sometimes getting people to invest in their core when they don't know how long they're going to be staying there. You know, those numbers tend to fluctuate and then they're never sure, well, did they buy high? Did they buy, you know, so there's a lot of factors and that's really kind of what comes out from working with a designer. We ask you all the pertinent questions so that we can really get to the crux of your family and your life goals and really short and long term so we know how long you're going to stay and you know what a valuable investment would be based on your area and you know what you could potentially get as a return.
Yeah, I mean it's true. As a homeowner, you have you know a certain amount of money in the pot, and you know I can see where you would be torn. Well, do I put some of this money toward art and furniture, which is obviously something that's personal to me,
Absolutely.
and I can take it with me, or do I put it into my house and improve the value of my house?
That's right.
It's really is a balancing act, isn't it?
That's right. Yes, it is a challenge to choose. That's why I always say don't really make a choice. For me, it's really about buying what you love, buying as well as you can afford, and really just kind of figuring out what your market is to ensure that you get the best bang for your buck no matter what you spend.
Now, when you, in sort of the shift for you in starting your business, and you clearly have a successful business today, interior design business, and by the way, I love your website. You must go to her website, JenniferBrouwerDesign.com.
Thank you.
What was the greatest challenge for you in starting this business?
Oh my gosh, there were so many. I think the biggest.
Few of them,
there's a few. Yeah, there's a few. I'd be lying if I said there weren't. For me, it was probably managing the growth and the change. I never had the pleasure of working with or for anyone else. I started for myself right away and really kind of just took off running. So I didn't have the luxury of having anyone else help break the fall of various things that go awry. You know, there's a lot going on in a renovation. There's many moving parts. You've always got a lot of balls up in the air, and you're trying your best to facilitate. And thankfully, through lovely clients that I've had, we've really been able to kind of work on those challenges together.
So, do you pull in a team then of people? Where you
I do now. I didn't have that luxury then.
Yeah, yeah.
So now,
so it's made
yes.
a big difference.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, it's great to have anyone to bounce things off of, because the challenge with clients is they don't know what they don't know. So sometimes they'll see a picture and they can identify what they like, or they can identify what they don't, but they can't really articulate what it is that they do want. So that's where we come in. We ask all of these varying questions, similarly to how you did to me today. What's your favorite color? What do you like to wear? All of these little kind of cues about their family, how often they entertain, just to kind of really get a feel or a flavor of that family and how they live in their home.
Now, Jennifer, we're going to take a break now, and before we do, I have my Good to Know Minute, and I know you've got a wonderful tip for my viewers, success tip, so jump right in there.
My Good to Know Minute is really just look at the good in every day. We have all had devastation moments throughout our day, and it's so important to focus on the positive.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Look at the good, focus on the positive. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, more with Jennifer Brouwer, so stay tuned. Welcome back. I'm Shannon Skinner, and I'm joined by Jennifer Brouwer, interior designer and founder of Jennifer Brouwer Design. Now, in the first part of the show, we're talking a little bit about your background and your career change. You created this very successful interior design company. So successful, now you're able to give back. And I know that you're involved in a project called the Yellow Brick House.
I am.
So maybe you could talk a little bit about that.
Sure. It's a project truly I'm so excited about. Yellow Brick House is based in York Region, and they are a shelter for battered women and children. So it's kind of one of those crazy things that just kind of fell out of the sky. I actually had done a client that is on their board of directors probably 8 years back. She called me out of the blue, needed a little bit of work done in this current home, and chatted with me a little bit about, is there anything that I could possibly donate, or are there any things that are left over? How could we, reconnect and potentially do some good for the Yellow Brick House? So needless to say, I was very excited about that. However, I am a person who, if I'm going to do something, I commit to it, and I can't really dabble and hand over a chair or a sofa without some input, because I tend to be a bit of a control freak. Sorry, that's not necessarily a quality, but I was just really thrilled at the thought of being able to participate. And as you know, I'm big on the psychology of design, and I just, I feel so badly for, the women and children that would require the use of a shelter. I think we take so much of our own safety for granted. We're very lucky ladies sitting here today, and we don't always have those challenges. So having a shelter that is a little bit more of a residential environment that can, uplift their spirit or maybe their mood through various colors or some quality furnishings was just really important to me to participate.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine some shelters aren't really, very environmentally inspiring places, but this is something that you've decided that you wanted to tackle.
Yeah, it's a challenge, for most shelters. The budgets are certainly at a minimum,
yes,
and all of the people that are working there are, putting in their own blood, sweat, and tears. So they're always looking for various volunteers, and they're truthfully, every shelter is really looking for help of some kind or some way. I think sometimes people or the public just don't know how to tap into that. And if I were to be honest with you, I would say I didn't even know how to tap into it myself. But I'm so glad that I was able to help out.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
On this. What's the end goal?
The end goal for me surrounding Yellow Brick House is really just to be able to kind of walk through there and see a design concept that is similar to my aesthetic that I would do for any other client. The beauty of this project is that there's no specific client in mind. So it's fun and exciting on our end because we're able to play with colors, we're able to do things that are a little bit more unexpected and not, I'll say, typical things that we do, in a residential home. So we're using, great palettes of vibrant colors. We're using corals and lime greens, and in one space we're using a little bit of turquoise blue and some pink. Things that you wouldn't expect to see. So that's...
Well, color is so important in our environment, isn't it? It's
Absolutely.
Just really critical.
Absolutely. Color can uplift you in ways that people don't even realize. A lot of times, we chatted a little bit about how your clothing impacts your design choices. When you look through your closet, I think it's probably pretty clear what colors you gravitate to. And some people will say, oh, I have all black or I have white, but they might zhuzh it up with a scarf or, potentially some jewelry or some other things. And those are kind of really key indicators on how we help our clients choose a look that will suit them best, that will be a little bit timeless for them. You never goes out of style.
Right. Now, I know that you've got some tips, some interior design tips, and we're going to walk through them. But what I would like to do is if we could pull up some photos of your work and show your work. Like, look at this. This is gorgeous.
Thank you.
It just makes you want to walk into that photograph and sit right down on a chair.
Thank you. That's a perfect example of a client-inspired space.
Right.
The zebra print was something that the wife really gravitated to. The husband was a little bit more conservative. Thankfully, we were able to use the woman powers of persuasion and add a little bit of zhuzh in there. It's not too much, and it's something that if they decide over time that it's either out of style or that they,
or if you tire of it,
yeah, exactly, that they've tired of it, then
change it.
We can modify that for sure.
And we've got a couple other photographs that that we can we can show as well. Look at this. This is great.
It's the same room with a close-up.
Just a different angle.
Yeah, different angle. That's the dining room.
Oh, wow.
That's kind of showing the impacts of artwork and fantastic lighting fixtures.
Lots of light colors mixed with dark furniture. I love
Accents,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's just showing a little bit more of the wallpaper. Wallpaper's a real trend this year. It's really on its way back, thankfully. A lot of clients are scared to use it. I think we've all been scarred by our mother's birdhouse borders or roses in the bathroom. So it's coming back in a much more elegant way.
Why do you think that is?
That we're scarred?
No, no. Well, yes.
I know why I'm scarred.
Why do you think that wallpaper is making a big comeback?
I
It seems like so cumbersome to work with, you know?
No, not at all.
No?
I think they've improved how it's made and how it's hung in so many ways. But I just think it's one of those things that adds so much impact in one small layer, and it can change a room, you know, similarly to the way that paint changes a room. Wallpaper is just that extra step towards wow.
With a little bit of texture.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I know that you have some tips.
I sure do.
Your first one then for my viewers.
My first one is there is no such thing as perfection in renovations. So you need to understand, if you are a perfectionist, that bumps in the road will happen, challenges occur, modifications need to be made, and it's imperative not to set the bar too high.
Right.
Things happen, and you need to kind of roll with the punches and enjoy the journey. It's not good for you to get too hung up on the negative.
I'm a perfectionist, and I get hung up on little details, and it can drive me crazy.
Yes.
Hopefully people around me as well.
Which is why I put that one out there, so people
That's
realize.
a good one. You know,
I manage your expectations.
Mental note.
Yes, exactly.
And you have a second one.
I do. A big one for me is really buying what you love. Be inspired by something that you're passionate about. You know, find a piece of art, find a wallpaper, find a fabric. It doesn't matter what it is, but love it. And you know, either spin your room around it or have someone help you. But you, and I said this before, but it's so imperative, you never goes out of style. And if it's something that you love, it will be timeless to you. There's many things that I see in various homes that may or may not appeal to me in this present time, but perhaps they're older clients and they still love it like yesterday. So who am I to tell them not to keep it?
Right. Well, that's no, two great tips, and I know that you've got a third one.
Yes, my third one is really about planning. It's not a sexy one; it's a boring one. But plan it out.
Important,
know what you're going to buy. Think it through, and really look at your goal with the end in mind. Have an idea of where you want your room to be, and then you can base your budget and plan accordingly.
And of course, you can also decorate cost effectively too.
Of course.
You know, it is possible. I've had a couple of homes, and one I did very, very, very cost effectively, and the other cost effectively.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You know, and
cheap and cheerful's our friend. Every designer likes a bargain.
Yeah. So, but of course, your services are fantastic.
Thank you.
I hope to hire you one day for one of my homes.
Thank you.
Love your work and love what you're doing, and I wish you all the best with the Yellow Brick House.
Thank you very much. I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, good stuff. And thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, you are going to meet Lisa Ferguson, founder of Decor Mentor. So stay tuned.